I'm still in shadow. Is that better? Hi, everybody. Adam Savage here in my cave. I am answering questions submitted by Tested patrons. If you would like to support us more here on Tested, you could go to our merch store. That would be awesome. We have amazing things for you to purchase. Or you could also become a Tested patron. Instructions for both are in the links to both are in the instructions below, are in the description below. Why do I say instructions? There's some disconnect I have about saying description. I always want to say in the comments, in the instructions. I don't know. Anyway, links on all of that are in the description below. See? It's like the index card is missing in here. August McKenna asks this question. Do you organize shared drawers or cabinets in your home with Mrs. Donttrythis? What is different or the same with this process compared to the cave? How do you negotiate these organization efforts? Do you collaborate or ask for forgiveness? This is a lovely question. It's a terrific question because all of us makers who are lucky enough to have a space in which to make, navigate that space on a personal level. Yeah, I get to navigate this space with total control, which is delightful. And that is not the case in my house, where I have a partner and we collaborate on the space that we live in together. That's natural and awesome. I wouldn't have it any other way. I love the space that my wife and I have curated together. That being said, we do collaborate a ton on all sorts of aspects of the house. We just put a new little cheap carpet up on the deck this morning. We moved some furniture around. We got this cheapo carpet that looks great, and we rolled it out, and it's awesome. So within the house, I have an office. My wife has an office. We sort of decorate those as we like. My office at home doesn't look anything like this. Don't get me wrong, you would know it's my office, and I'll shoot a piece in there at some point soon. I built a sword rack which went up on the wall in my office, and you can catch glimpses of it in that video. We'll put a link in the description below. But the main place in which organization is a group effort is our kitchen. And our house was renovated 4 years before we bought it by previous owners, and they did a magnificent and kind of mind-blowing job. The renovation is one of the decisions that they made in the house that we bought are some of the most awesome design decisions I've seen in a house. I love what they did, and we haven't changed a thing about the actual physical structure at all. We changed some paint colors, and that was it. And the kitchen that the previous owner built in our house is an incredible kitchen. Oh, you can see it in an old Tested video in which I cook omelets with Tracy Desjardins in my kitchen. It's a stellar kitchen in that it has tons and tons of drawers, big drawers with lots of space, enough space that I was able to build separator racks and store all of our pots and pans in a set of 3 wide, deep drawers, which is weird. I wouldn't have thought that I liked doing that, but I love it. We have some under the counter space where I built some drawer separators, so we have chopping blocks and stuff like that under there. And all of that has been really pretty organic. We've shifted some drawers contents around, those kitchen tools. It's like, do the ice cream scoops, where do you put the ice cream scoops versus the scrapers versus the potato mashers versus the egg cups? Sorry, I should have prefaced this by saying my wife and I we like to cook. We don't do it all the time, but we're serious about it. And both of our sons, thing 1 and thing 2, cook extensively and are very good at it. And so the kitchen gets a lot of use, and it is very well appointed. We have very few single-use kitchen items. It's like chef friends of mine love to cook in our kitchen. So organizationally, it's very well laid out, and that has been mostly an organic process of of laying things out and seeing what worked and didn't. And within the first year, we had kind of come up with the overall drawer structure of what went where. There's one area in which we had a lot of back and forth discussion, which was, like a lot of kitchens, we have 3 separate garbage cans. There is garbage, recycling, and compost. And I know that recycling's a shit show right now in the US, but we're still separating like anybody, even if it's not being utilized as much. And for the longest time, we had compost and garbage together in the pantry, and we had, for the longest time, we had garbage and compost together in the pantry, and we had recycling out on the kitchen island. That's where those 3 garbage cans are. And it never made sense to me to have recycling on the kitchen island where you're constantly producing compost, right? All the compost we make in our kitchen happens on the kitchen island. And so for the longest time, the boys and I would say to Mrs. Donttrythis, my wife, compost should be here. And she didn't agree, so we went with it. And then at a certain point, we were having a talk about it, and she was like, oh, I see your point. And we shifted, and it's been new ever since. What's funny is that the boys still have trouble remembering that that garbage can is compost, because for most of their preteens and teens, it was recycling. This is way more than you needed to know about my kitchen or my life. But suffice to say, the organizational strategies in my house are a collaboration with my partner. And that's right and proper to me. I don't love the idea of asking for forgiveness. I know, you know what your partner likes. Your partner knows what you like. You can work together. We also occasionally do things like, she will say, look, I'm going to take on like adjusting all the things over here, and I'll like spend a weekend cleaning out the garage. We separate sometimes into our, not just our specialties but more like the thing we want to tackle. Like on Mythbusters, Jamie and I, we collaborated on everything, but occasionally there were things that one or the other of us was so interested in, we would say to the other, do you mind if I don't have to listen to any input from you? I just take this one and run with it. And we would both ask that of each other and grant that to each other. And that was lovely. And my wife and I do the same thing. It's a collaboration. It's a process. What I appreciate and what the goal is that's actually the thing. For us, the goal is the same thing, that everything is easy to find and where you naturally want to find it. So the collaboration begins by us both understanding that we're on the same page, which may not be the case. You may have, you and your partner may have different goals for a space. And if you do, like, it's great to work that out before you start to organize that space. Because you have to set expectations and set parameters so that you can agree, or you can agree to disagree, but that has to be a decision. Yeah. So you can check out some of the places in my house I've talked about by clicking links in the description below. Thank you so much, August McKenna, for that awesome question. Tested patrons, keep submitting your questions and I will keep answering them. Thanks, you guys. Stay safe, and I will see you next time.